Hey retro lovers, welcome to the Nostalgia Junkies podcast, where we talk all about pop culture, retro toy collecting, and nostalgia. And now, here are your hosts, Alex and Brandon.
So as you know, this past week, I had off for February break for teaching.
Yeah, because you have that really crazy job where you get time off, but then they demand so much during your work days.
I know. I love it, but hate it. It's great, but again, sucks.
It's a catch-22, that's for sure.
Oh, of course. There's the pros, there's the cons. You take the good, you take the bad. What do you have? The facts of life. But so on Friday, a couple of friends and I, we actually drove 3 hours
One way.
New Jersey. It was 3 hours, it ended up being 6 hours round trip, all for the love of the Rainforest Cafe.
Gotta love those monkey sounds.
Oh, they were so great. The elephants, the monkeys, the tigers, the bears. Oh my.
I have a distinct memory of walking through the mall and just hearing the sounds of the Rainforest Cafe.
Like the chirping and the birds.
Yes, and just walking by it and being like, I want to go in there and eat. And my parents and grandparents or whoever was with us, they always be like, not today, because it was expensive. Like,
it was.
Imagine the overhead on trying to keep that restaurant in
that
business.
Water bill and the irrigation. Shh. Which that's one thing that amazed me. The construction inside of Rainforest Cafe, like there is a definite plan that goes into that, and it's replicated in almost every single rainforest.
Yeah, I mean, I think they have to just start with an empty space and then have the same build outs.
Although what I noticed is that not all Rainforest Cafe's entrances are built the same.
Are they not?
No, some of them have like the mushroom at the beginning, and some of them kind of just look like a tree canopy.
I had the one that was a tree canopy. What did you have?
So the one in New Jersey, it was kind of mushroomy, but it was like the ceiling outside was too low. That it just looked like a tree canopy. But I remember growing up, like going to West Farms Mall, and there was just this giant mushroom dome that you could see as soon as you went into the mall, across like the entrance and the hallway. You would see the entrance to Rainforest Cafe, and it just opened up into this humongous jungle.
Okay, so the one at the mall by us was definitely the tree entrance. I don't remember a mushroom at all. So, but I always thought it was the coolest thing. I was obviously very distracted every time I tried to eat, anytime we went there. But I also remember, I think it was the first time I ever finished I was a tiny kid, right? Tiny kid. Could not even finish like a cheeseburger from McDonald's most of the time.
No.
But I finished my fries.
You fry horse.
I remember there's actually a picture of me because I finished my first little personal pizza. They took a picture of me holding the plate.
Why am I not surprised about this? Like I remember having a very similar picture of when I finished my first pancake. I think I was 1. Just chocolate chips smeared all over the face, like how I eat when I'm like now.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
But I was just gonna say, so my buddies and I, my boys, we drove down to Rainforest Cafe. It was 6 hours round trip.
I was very disappointed I couldn't get the day off.
I know you were supposed to come with us, but then darn, you couldn't.
Oh no, I had to work.
We really, the whole reason we went was to get the souvenir glasses.
Obviously.
And I remember we went in, we ordered one of the nice cocktails that they have.
Okay, you got to tell me the difference between Rainforest Cafe as a kid and then Rainforest Cafe as a legal drinking age adult.
Oh, it's so much better. I mean, I think we got there and we all ordered like one like a margarita.
Yep.
Or it was called the Cheetorita.
Oh,
and
fancy.
Then we finished that. And then we ordered something else. It was another Rainforest pun, but it was like a frozen pina colada thing. And we all agreed that if we would do it again, we'd get that first, not because it was stronger, but the frozen slushiness. It was so thick. It just sat so heavy.
Oh, it was a thick one.
And trying to pound a frozen drink. We all had all just eaten this like a spicy meal, like whether it was like the pasta lie, which is by far one of the best dishes at Rainforest Cafe.
Okay.
Or the Korean barbecue stir fry. So our mouths are burning. We get this frozen beverage and we could not drink it fast enough. I felt like we were like shoveling with spoons into our mouth. It looked like we were trying to eat Frosty at Wendy's.
But it's boozy frozen pina colada.
And so we misread the menu. So in about like an hour and a half, we had like 9 different empty cocktail glasses.
Oh, that's nice.
On the maybe 2 hours, but we had 9 glasses on the table, and we're like, yeah, we get to take all these home. And then they just let us go with one. And apparently that your first drink is $14 and the second one are like $11 refills. So that means that the glassware is only $3.
Well, yeah.
I mean, by that logic and the mathematician in me, I'd go back and I just open and close a tab every time I wanted a drink.
Hey, that's not a bad idea. They have one in Nashville, right?
Yes, they do. So when we go down to Nashville, we're going to be going to Rainforest Cafe and get some more glassware.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so then we actually had asked them if they could put the third cocktail in like the to-go cups that had like the big animal heads on it.
Oh, yes.
And they're like, no, we can't. They're technically to-go cups, and we can't put beverages in to-go cups. And I was like
boozy beverages.
And I think the waiter like saw the logic going in our heads, because we had decided that, well, if he just brings it here, like, what's to stop me from putting the beverage inside there? I'm still gonna sit here and drink it. Mm-hmm. But he would not bring like to-go cups until like we were checking out.
Oh, so he had you pegged. He's like, these are these
he
guys.
Knew we were some troublemakers. But yeah, so Rainforest Cafe as an adult, I think it definitely loses that mysticism as a child. But as an adult that grew up going there as a child, the nostalgia factor is like times 10.
Okay.
And one of the things I will say was really cool. You know, we went at like 11:30 on a Friday. Mm-hmm. There were some families there with kids. And it was really cool to see the different ways that kids reacted to what was going on in the restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it was like oh my gosh, an elephant, or monkeys, I'm afraid. Like, it was like we had this one kid that every time the thunderstorm went off, he would like grab his head. Aww. He would put his hands on his ears, and I think he was like terrified.
Oh,
like this kid is scarred from this restaurant.
Oh man.
Meanwhile, he has like an infant brother who's like looking at him laughing. And it was like funny because like the toddler is terrified and the infant is laughing at the toddler's like just fear.
Well, now the younger one knows how to get at his older sibling.
Oh yeah.
That's fantastic.
But we were able to time the thunderstorm in the Rainforest Cafe down to the second.
Which is crazy because as a kid, I don't ever remember it being like routine.
No, well, when you're a kid, you're also not paying attention to that.
Oh, heck
like, you're so distracted, like ADHD up the wazoo of everything that's going on at the Rainforest Cafe. But when you're an adult, you start noticing the patterns. So we sat like right next to where like the trough is that like drains off the mushroom. And so all of the water that would drain into the mushroom would then come up and be steam.
Oh, okay.
That was the telltale time that, it must have been the incremental time, because then steam would go up. The monkeys would go off, you'd hear a little rustling, and then thunder and lights.
Oh.
And it was a pattern. The thunderstorm at the Rainforest Cafe in Edison, New Jersey goes off every 20 minutes.
That's a lot of thundering.
Yeah, we were there for about 2.5 hours. So that's why we were able to get down to like the minute.
You guys are ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. We were like, and cue the thunder. We're like, it must be 1:32.
Oh, I can see all of you doing that. I can see all of you guys doing that.
That was the weird thing, though. It didn't go off on like a 0. It went off at like 1:12, 1:32, 1:52, 2:12. It was just weird to go off on the 2s. So I'm wondering if there's like a switch that they flip in the back.
Oh.
That like turns it on. Or is there a timer that's built in? Like, there has to be some kind of timing mechanism. And I wonder, is it like an overall thing or a daily thing?
I would guess that it's got to be like a daily thing. Like, you switch it off at night when you close down. But then when you come in the morning, you're getting ready. When you're ready to open, then just switch it on. So it could happen at like a 1.
Like, if it was an overall thing. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, like the Rainforest Cafe, like, I don't know, maybe food poisoning took over the kitchen can't open for the day, right? Mm-hmm. So now half that part of the mall is like run down and dead. You're working security, and all of a sudden you just hear like the monkeys and the elephants going off. You're like Night at the Museum, except Night at the Mall.
That'd be pretty good. Night at the Mall. You could do a mix of Paul Blart Mall Cop and Night at the Museum.
Ooh, that might be a good movie. Adam Sandler, we're putting this out to you.
Mm-hmm. And Ben Stiller.
And Kevin James. Mm-hmm. After we were leaving Rainforest Cafe. We planned this to just be like 3 hours there, 3 hours back. We discovered that the new U.S. flagship store for Toys R Us was 20 minutes away from where we were and in the direction we were traveling.
Oh, of course it was.
So we had to go hit the American Dream Mall, and we went to the new Toys R Us.
There were like stacks on stacks of Castle Grayskulls there too and everything, right?
The sheer volume of everything that was in that Toys R Us was mystifying. I will say it seemed like it was all toys that we've already seen in Target and Walmart.
Okay, so it was just a collection of the really fun ones, but like high volume collection.
Yeah, it was like all like the main toy lines and some smaller toy lines too.
Okay.
But it was everything that we've seen, but 6 to 8 months ago.
Oh,
so I'm wondering
interesting.
how that worked out. Because like stuff that we were looking for at like Target and Walmart, part of like the He-Man lines and the Transformers lines, they completely sold out like instantaneously.
Like I remember
in mass stock at Toys R Us.
I remember when we got Castle Grayskull, we found it as a fluke in Walmart on your birthday one year. There was like only one left. I just walked around the corner. I was like, oh, here's a Castle Grayskull. And you like busted butt around that corner to grab it off the shelf.
If I could have like gone through and like left like a print in the wall, I would have.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. So, and you had sent me a picture just when you were down there that they had stacks on stacks of Castle Grayskulls.
Oh yeah. So that's what I'm wondering, like where, like these toys just like were they bought by Toys R Us a while ago and there's Canada stock that didn't sell, or like what's the story behind this? Because we haven't really seen a lot of Castle Grayskulls in Target and Walmart.
No,
at least not in our area. I don't know if anyone else is seeing them though.
I wonder if with such high volume, do they sell online and ship now?
I'm pretty sure. Like I know BBTS has,
or like
stuff.
through Toys R Us, because Toys R Us owns these ones right now. So like, do you have to travel to the flagship store? Because I feel like that's kind of counterproductive for them to be able to actually move product.
I will say it was nice to see like Toys R Us carrying like some big box names again. I feel like the Toys R Us that are in the Macy's are carrying not that Melissa and Doug is not a good toy brand.
Yeah, but they're like baby toy brand.
Yeah, and they look like the cheap wooden toys.
Okay, see, I think wooden toys are really cool and not cheap. So
I'm not trying to knock the wooden toys, but like that, like the craft quality looking.
Oh,
toys.
okay.
Like they might be high quality, but they look like very crafty.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like they were home. Like you don't want to say homemade isn't a bad thing, but like less skill work put into it. They look like
it's something I could have made in the garage. That's the thing. It's like I feel like that's what we're seeing at the Macy's Toys R Us, but the actual Toys R Us at the American Dream Mall, phenomenal. And then one last thing I have to say about American Dream Mall, they had the Nickelodeon Universe like amusement park inside the mall in a DreamWorks water slide.
Yeah, that looked insane from the pictures that you sent me. So we're taking a trip. And we're going to bring our swimsuits and go to the water park because we are children.
Oh, yeah. We already planned that the next trip that we're going down, you're allowed to come, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
We're going to go to the Nickelodeon amusement park, the DreamWorks water park first. And then we're going to drive to Rainforest Cafe.
All right. That's fair. That's fair.
Okay. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of today's podcast.
I'm very excited for this.
We are talking about our top 5 animated Disney movies not by Pixar. From 1991 to 2000. There's a lot of like little things in that.
Yeah, there's a lot of qualifiers in there.
But I feel like if we were to say top 5 Disney movies from the 90s and or like 2000.
Oh, the list would be huge.
It'd be so huge, and it'd be so easy just to put in like what? Monsters Inc., I almost called it Toys R Us. Toy Story. Like it'd be so easy to put in like the Pixar movies right at the top.
Well, that and like the ones that are so popular, of course you have to include them. Like
Atlantis.
Yeah,
like
obviously.
Treasure Planet. Like those movies are on a whole other caliber of animation.
Oh, they're iconic. They're superb.
I think because, Atlantis was so good. Treasure Planet's animation was amazing. I thought Road to El Dorado was also a Disney movie.
Yeah, because it looks like it should be one.
It fits right in with that style.
Yeah, but it's not.
It's not.
No.
So that's why there are a little bit of stipulations here. Like I wanted to not include Atlantis, which is kind of bad because I actually did want to include Atlantis.
Yeah.
Because Atlantis was on my original list, but it's a 2001 movie.
And I'm glad you said something before this podcast because Atlantis was my number 1 pick, and
I know you love it.
It was going to be a real issue if I found that out on camera. That
I know,
we
but no Milo, no Kita, none of that.
So sad.
I know. But so 90s to 2000, we're given like a 10-year, 11-year span.
Yep.
To talk about movies that are produced by Disney, not the Pixar one.
Yes, not the Pixar ones.
Yes.
Okay.
I wanted in-house productions.
Okay. I'm pretty sure that I did all right with these qualifiers. I think I only have one that might raise some questions. So do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
I'm gonna let you go first.
All right. So my fifth pick, number 5, coming in hot.
Number 5?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
So
11,
it's
12.
technically not animated.
Jocelyn.
But it doesn't only include humans.
So like Mary Poppins?
Not quite, though.
That's
that
not
would have
the
been
90s,
good.
though.
No,
That's not the 90s.
No, but I know what you're going for with that, with the chalk scenes.
I was thinking like animals.
No, yeah, like the chalk scenes that they walked into and
So it's like
jumped in.
Beethoven then.
No, it's more
Homeward Bound.
like you could take these characters that aren't human and animate them, and people have.
Wait,
but
can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Have there been cartoons including these characters?
Yes.
Have they been babies?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about then.
Okay. Yeah. Do you know which one? Because there were 2 released in the time span that we were talking about.
I want... Okay, because I love the main actor in this one, I want to say it's the Christmas Carol one.
It is not the Christmas Carol one, though I do love me some Michael Caine.
Michael Caine?
Yes. It is not Muppet Christmas Carol. It is Muppet Treasure Island.
Okay.
Because...
Not animated.
Not animated, but
it's very good, and...
It was animated with felt.
Okay, so have you seen the meme that uses Michael Caine from The Christmas Carol and Tim Curry from the Muppets Treasure Island?
I think I know exactly which one you're talking about.
The one where it talks about how The Christmas Carol was so good because Michael Caine treats the Muppets like they're actually actors.
Yep.
And Tim Curry is so good because he's a Muppet.
Yeah. No, I love that meme. It is so accurate. He is a Muppet.
And I love how they have the face of like, it's Michael Caine talking down to Kermit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just Tim Curry like with all of like them like,
hi.
Yeah.
His one solo song that he's got in the entire thing. Yeah.
Okay, so not an animated movie, but I'll give it to you.
Yeah, I love this movie because it terrified me as a child, like the black dot. Oh my gosh, I was so scared of the black dot just like appearing and being handed a black dot. But then also it was just beautiful. It was fun. It was chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing. I also really like the memes that are like, you can tell how old somebody is by where they know Tim Curry from. Like their first memory of
Home
Tim
Alone.
Curry. Okay. I say Muppet Treasure
Home
Island.
Alone too, but
Yeah. There's that. And then, you've got Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I was never a big fan of that.
I wasn't either, but like you can tell someone's age by where they know Tim Curry from.
I agreed. Okay, so you ready for number 5 for me?
Yes.
This movie will always be in my heart.
No, that can't be your number 5.
My number 5, Tarzan.
Okay.
I absolutely love the soundtrack for Tarzan.
Oh yeah, it's banging.
I can't remember what the name of the guy is on Instagram and TikTok, where it's like hey, we need a soundtrack for this movie about a boy that gets lost by his parents because the jaguar eats him and he gets rescued by a gorilla. But don't make it too fire.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be in my heart.
Oh my gosh.
And it's just so good. I absolutely love it. I loved the Tarzan animated series that came out after that.
Oh.
It was really cool just to kind of see like the friendships between, Turk and Tarzan, and I can't remember what the elephant's name is right now, but all of that and them like living in the jungle and Jane. It was just interesting to watch like the dynamics. And I know it was all animated and it was probably all just obviously it's made up. It's fiction, but
it was probably all made up.
It was all probably made up. I don't know. It's actually an animated documentary about Tarzan's life, but well, it's okay because listen to Carol Burnett. Oh. Oh my gosh. I loved the movies that got an animated series after the reception of the movie, which is gonna be a big theme with my list.
Okay,
Just
got
a
it.
little foreshadowing.
Okay.
But yeah, so my number 5 was Tarzan. Number 4.
Number 4 for me was Mulan.
Really?
Yes. No. Was it yours?
It's my number 4.
Yeah, I loved this movie. It was so empowering. It had a really cool soundtrack. And plus, who doesn't love a fiery, sassy dragon sidekick voiced by Eddie Murphy?
So the soundtrack is actually the only reason I put it above Tarzan.
Really?
Yep. And only because, let's be real. When you're out with people and you're going to sing, "You'll be in
No,
my
it gets like
heart."
real awkward real fast. But
Yeah.
if you sing,
Let's get down to business. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody joins in.
Oh, heck yeah.
And listen, you can go through the entire song with everybody.
Mm-hmm. And everybody knows their own motions that they made up to it.
I'm never going to catch my breath.
Say goodbye to those who know me.
But was I fool in school for cutting gym?
This
Yeah.
guy's I'm scared to death. I can keep
Hope
going.
doesn't see right through me.
Man, I really wish that I knew how to swim.
Beyond task. Okay, so Mulan, a great movie, also based in some historical accuracy.
Yes, and just the animation was really cool too. Like, I love the motion that they gave while keeping it very steady, very calm. And then, Mushu's fiery power and his little sassy everything. I just really enjoyed the movie all over. It was beautiful and fun.
Mm-hmm. So I just remembered a detail from Tarzan that might flip it, but it pulls in from outside of the 90s, 2000
Oh no.
era. You do know the fan theory of who Tarzan's related to,
Yeah,
right?
I've seen that. Mm-hmm.
With Elsa and Anna.
Yeah,
And so I just remember that. I'm like, oh, that was actually really cool.
I was actually going to mention that.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, that just like popped into my head. Because I was thinking about like the historical accuracy.
Mm-hmm.
And like Mulan like actually pulls in from like cultural relevancy. That's the
Yeah,
word.
there you
Cultural
go.
relevancy
Mhm.
of like wartime China and the dynasties. And I love that's what it does.
Mm-hmm.
Tarzan didn't have that for me.
Oh, it didn't have that tie.
And also, as I'm talking about it, and this is why it bothers me. You have what's going on with Frozen, right?
Yeah.
And how there's all of this chaos when the parents disappear.
Mm-hmm.
And Tarzan is supposedly the little brother to Anna and Elsa.
Mm-hmm.
Yet, we have Jane and her father,
Mm-hmm.
who kind of exists from like old England.
I was going to say the timeline doesn't really match up.
Just like the the animation style, first of all, it's different.
Yeah.
Which is annoying to me. But you're right. The timeline doesn't line up with the way that the characters are depicted. You have like old, like Victorian England. Not Victorian, but you know what I mean. Like 1800s, 1900s England.
For
Tarzan.
Okay, I was going to say not for Frozen.
Which then you have like old England. Well, not even England, it's Arendelle.
Yeah, more like Sweden.
Yeah.
I was going to say you also have the big game hunter.
Oh, yeah.
So like that totally misplaces any sort of timeline in reference to Tarzan being their lost younger brother.
Well, that, and also we see Rapunzel and what's his face in Frozen.
Lynn or Eugene.
Eugene, that's his name. I was going to call him Rick.
Where? What?
I don't know where it was going to come from, but that's what I was
Okay.
going to call him. All I know is that he had a dream that were much less touchy-feely. Yeah.
And he's
He
surrounded
wanted-
by enormous piles of money.
Yes, on an island that's always warm and sunny.
Okay, we are not in the right decade
No,
of
we are
movies.
completely off task. But yes, Mulan, number 4.
Ah, okay.
So we go on to number 3.
Do you want to do your number 3 first?
I'll do my number 3 because you did number 4.
Yes.
Okay. Hercules. Is that your number 3?
No.
Okay. So yeah, Hercules, which also got a sequel, Zero to Hero, and had an animated series.
I literally just have the muses singing in my head right now. I can't stop.
But the I Can Go the Distance song,
Oh yeah.
amazing ballad.
Mhm.
There was something about the 90s and
Ballads?
Disney movies with the ballads, the power ballads.
They were on it.
Like
with the power
Tarzan,
battles.
Hercules, Aladdin, all had power ballads.
Yeah. And they were fire too. It wasn't like a lame one that was like, oh, we'll throw this in.
That is what I loved about the 90s movies. Every song in a 90s Disney movie was a banger.
Yeah. And I like it because you get the movies nowadays and they have awesome soundtracks. You don't really have like ballads.
You have like one song that's maybe good.
Or you have like a couple that are good and they're catchy, but like even what's the strong one?
Surface Pressure.
Surface Pressure from Encanto. That's not a ballad. Let's be real.
We're not in that 90s power ballad era anymore.
No, but I wish we were.
I would say the last good power ballad was Let It Go.
I don't think Let It Go is a power ballad.
You put an electric guitar in there, it's a power ballad.
Well, then what about Surface Pressure?
Not a power ballad.
What qualifies Let It Go as a power ballad versus Surface Pressure?
I think that the tonality of the voice, the instrumentals behind it, I think Surface Pressure, it's too beat driven.
Okay.
Like, I'm the strong one. I'm the nervous. I'm as crust as the tough as the earth is.
I'm as tough as the crust of the earth is.
Yeah, whatever the words. I don't remember the words. But then it stops.
Okay.
Where like, I can go the distance. And I just realized I'm singing Let's Get Down to Business. But you'll be in my heart.
Yep.
Yes, you'll be in my heart. Whatever the word. Yeah. The way that the song
the crescendos.
Crescendo. Crescendo.
Yeah. That one. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I think Let It Go is lacking a crescendo as well.
I could see that. I feel like, like the way that it's been written, it has, I think musically it has the rise and falls of the notes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel
it's missing like a big build.
Yeah, there's no build. You're right.
And like it has somewhat of a build, like when she's bringing everything up to herself, but like it's not like a powering through kind of deal. It's more of a letting it go.
Letting go?
Yeah.
Would you say that Elsa let go? Now, does she let herself go or just let go of what was holding her back?
I think she lets go of the expectations and demands of others.
Yes.
Whereas a power ballad is reaching into yourself and finding the inner strength.
Yes, I would agree with that. You know what? I also miss from the 90s movies that they're doing them in the movies currently that I wish they'd stop. The stupid songs.
Oh, the Dinky Doos?
Yeah, like a 30-second, like, silly song. Like, I mean, listen, I love Sven.
Mm-hmm.
I love...
Reindeers are better than people.
Yeah, the song is funny. But really, like, you have Jonathan Groff right there. And you're gonna... That's the song you have him sing?
There almost needs to be, like, just a movie or a show about him growing up and he's with the trolls and they start singing all their songs and doing that stuff.
I think there should definitely be like a bunch of animated shorts.
Oh, there should be.
But
more than just Olaf.
You have one of the best actors and singers of the modern era.
Oh, yeah.
And you have him sing one song.
And it's a ditty.
One song. And yes, he plays the role of the person and of the reindeer, but that's it? Mm-hmm. That's all you have him sing? Yo, bring back Phil Collins. Like, Lin-Manuel Miranda's great, but I need a Phil Collins power ballad.
What if we did? What if there was Phil Collins and Lynn?
A collab? Listen, you're saying it. I was thinking it. Now we're talking about it.
And we need to get back on task.
It needs to happen.
It does need to happen.
It needs to happen. Okay, so do you want to do your number 3?
My number 3 has to do with a late, great, wonderful actor who did the voice of one of the most beloved characters, I think, in our childhood. Aladdin with Genie.
Oh.
Yeah. I adore this movie. And it was great. So a lot of mine are based on rewatch value that you had with a sibling. So both kids could watch it.
I wouldn't be able to talk about that.
I understand. So I'm speaking of my experience of Jeremy and I, as much as we fought, we also did like some of the same things. And there were certain movies and certain like shows that we could watch and rewatch and not hate each other for 2 minutes. We're much better now, don't worry. But the movies that I picked are definitely like, they've got elements that both, someone more inclined to princesses or someone more inclined to heroics or, someone more inclined to the funny sidekick or
Aladdin's kind of in the middle.
It really hits down the middle. The jokes are great. They're all there. There's a little bit of the scary stuff with Jafar and the Cave of Wonders. That was kind of scary. But then you've got Genie. You've got the carpet. You've got just so many great one-liners and the catchy songs. Great rewatch.
So when I was thinking about catchy songs, the only song that I could really think of, Prince Ali, Fabulous Ali Ababwa. That's it. That's all I could think of.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you've got a friend like me.
You've got a friend in me. Oh, no. You got a
friend like me.
Yes. You ain't never had a friend like me.
You ain't never, because you've got a friend.
Yeah, it's
in
totally
me.
different.
Yeah, that's Toy Story.
You almost said Toys R Us again.
I keep wanting to call it Toys R Us. Listen, I will say, again, little side track, there was a Buzz Lightyear at Toys R Us.
Did you want to get it?
No. It didn't have a button where you could press it and it goes, Buzz Lightyear to the rescue.
Aw, that's lame.
It also didn't have the little laser, it didn't have the little flip-up thing. They're forgetting the key details of the toys. If you're going to make a toy about a toy, you have to give it the features that toy had.
Yes.
Its visor didn't go up. It didn't have the button that you could press for its wings to go out. It didn't have the thing that went up or the laser. None of it. None of it. Yeah, so Aladdin.
I could show you the world.
Yep.
That was a good one.
Wow. I'm a little upset that I forgot all of these songs and didn't put them on my list. Especially because we just saw the musical not too long ago.
Yes, we did, and it was great.
That is the one thing that I love seeing the different actors in the musical interpretations, their presentations of Genie, because I feel like that is a character that does well in live action.
Yes.
If you have an actor who can play it.
You cannot try to just replicate. You have to really become your own Genie.
I will say, I did like the way that they did Genie's story in the live action version.
Oh, yeah, that was
Will
good.
Smith. I wasn't a fan of Will Smith's version of the Genie.
To be honest, I haven't seen it.
Honestly, it's...
Give or take.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard people who like it, I've heard people who hate it. I think that, the story, all the fundamentals are there. They really played more into Jasmine's, drive to be a leader and be heard. And they did more of the politicalness there.
Yep.
I don't think that the Genie played well with that CGI.
Okay.
So I think part of it was the CGI. I also think that, they were trying to force the Genie to be too modern and hip.
Oh.
But they weren't doing modern R&B. They're doing circa 1990s Big Willie style R&B.
Oh, so
and it didn't play well.
It didn't translate, didn't mesh.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That was my number 3.
That was your number 3? You want me to do number 2 or you want to do number 2 first?
I'll do number 2.
Okay.
So number 2 for me, circling back to one that's already been mentioned, was Tarzan.
Okay.
It had great rewatch value. It had the terrifying stuff. It had the, with the game hunter and then, the top 10 Disney deaths in movies. He was one of them. The hanging in the shadows. It was creepy. And, you just hear the thunder crack. But then I also love Jane. I wanted to be Jane for ever. I wanted to be Jane. And the monkeys in the camp with the knocking on everything to make the music. That was
the mess around in the camp.
Yeah, just take my soul.
Now, did you ever notice that Jane's dress is kind of just a simpler version of Belle's dress?
Yes. And I wanted to be both of them. So
you just like yellow. You see where I was going with that. As you're clutching a yellow pillow.
That has the little poofs.
So did Belle's dress, and so did Jane's dress.
I like my poofy pillow.
Yeah. Okay. So
I also wanted to slide around the trees.
Oh yeah,
and swing on the vines. So
you know how mad I was when I was a kid. I would climb trees. That I would go up there barefoot. You know how mad it was when I realized that if you try to slide on a branch, you don't slide on a branch. You know what happens if you try to slide on a branch?
Lots of pain.
You cut up your feet. And it hurts a lot. Yeah, I was not the brightest kid.
That's okay. I wasn't either.
So my number 2. I think it's a great movie. It had phenomenal rewatch value as a kid. I think it has even better rewatch value as an adult. A Goofy movie.
Yes. Your favorite.
Yes. I mean, one, had a phenomenal song with Eye to Eye. It also had a phenomenal song when, like, the whole song when they're fishing and they're, like, floating in the car. Amazing. The premise of the movie, as a child, Max just wants to go to the concert and see this girl and impress her. And as a child, you're watching Goofy, like, and it really seems like Goofy's just trying to keep him from that. But as an adult watching, it's like, no, Goofy just wants to spend time with his kid as a kid. Because once he grows up, you no longer have that.
I know.
That's gone.
They did a great job of putting both sides of the story in.
It
makes me cry.
You're actually crying.
I know.
So yeah, I love that. Also, I mean, if you follow our TikTok and Instagram, I love Roxanne.
Yeah, I know.
Roxanne was like my childhood crush. Like Roxanne was great.
I don't think you ever grew out of it.
No, I still want a shirt. Like I love the song, Roxanne. Just because it says the name Roxanne. I don't care about the red light and all that.
No, you just like Roxanne.
I just like Roxanne.
Yeah. You definitely never grew out of that adoration.
I don't plan to.
I know. It was a really good movie. I think I did not enjoy it as much as some of the other ones growing up, so it didn't make it on my list, but that's just a personal preference.
I will say it was really cool as a kid watching a Goofy movie when, like, a few years after the Goofy movie came out. We then had an extremely Goofy movie where Max is in college.
Yes.
And then we also had House of Mouse. Which, did you ever watch House of Mouse?
No.
House of Mouse is basically Mickey Mouse, like, owns, like, this, like, nightclub where there's, like, variety acts.
Oh,
and it's all of, like, the characters that were in all the movies. Yeah. And Max was one of the waiters there. So you could kind of see Max a little older. So as you grew up in the 90s into the 2000s, you got to watch Max grow up, which was such a thing that you really didn't see in cartoons at all.
Ash never grew up.
Yeah, Ash never grew up. Although now he's champion, and there's only going to be 4 more episodes of Road to be a Master. But you don't get to see kids grow up. I feel like the only other kid that we saw grow up in cartoons was Ben 10. And I think that's why I bonded with Ben 10, because as the Ben 10 show progressed and I got older, Ben 10 got older. And same with Max. Like, I love watching characters get older and grow up and go through different challenges. It's not something we see with the South Park kids. South Park has been the same age since they were, they've grown 1 grade in 26 seasons.
Yep. It was definitely not something that people really paid attention to, but as kids we did. So, I mean, eventually you get too old and you grow out of those cartoons, but if they grow with you, then you also maintain that in the audience, or at least some of it, more than you would if you had just stagnant age.
We each have one more movie.
Yes.
You want me to go first?
Let's rock, paper, scissors for it.
Ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
This movie had so many one-liners.
Oh, boy.
Absolutely love it. Involves 2 of my favorite voice actors.
Oh.
Patrick Warburton. John Goodman. David Spade. Boom, baby! Emperor's New Groove.
That wasn't 2001?
2000.
Oh, my gosh. I totally didn't even think about that one. That is iconic.
It is. Happy, sad. Happy, sad. You see, this is a sad llama. It's a bad llama. Bad llama.
I loved the wife in that.
Oh, yeah, she's great.
She's, if I was ever to be a mother and have 3 kids, I'd want to be her. I'd want to be her. You can be.
Let's Yzma and Kronk, though. Right. The poison for Cusco. Cusco's poison. The poison, especially for Cusco.
I love how those sound bites are coming back through in Reels and TikToks because it is fabulous to see what people are doing with them. They're so funny.
I love that movie. And then I told you, it's like a lot of the shows or a lot of movies that I have on my list ended up becoming animated series. Tarzan had the animated series. Hercules had the animated series.
Yep.
Goofy had Goof Troop. Emperor's New Groove had Emperor's New School.
Yes.
Which was not the best show.
Mm-hmm.
However, it was interesting every week to watch, like when pull the lever, Kronk, and he pulls the lever, what random thing was going to happen as they go down to the lab.
Yeah.
And what random potion Yzma was going to have.
Of course.
Yeah. So I have Emperor's New Groove as my number one Disney movie from the 90s to 2000s.
I can see that. And I'm a little mad that I didn't think about it before, but I don't think I could have knocked any of the ones off of my list that I put on here. I love them all terribly. Circling back to one of the ones that's already been mentioned is my number one.
Let me guess. Hercules.
Why would you take away my thunder like that?
Because boom, baby.
Okay. Yeah, it's Hercules. Rewatch value. Right up there.
It is very good.
The songs, iconic. They are stuck in my head most days. The one-liners, fantastic. The sass level with Hades, right up there. It was a terrible depiction of Greek mythology, but as a child, you don't need to know all the stupid stuff that goes on in those stories.
Have you seen the interviews with James Wood talking about his play on Hades?
No.
So they had the storyboard drawing of Hades.
Yep.
And then they had like different actors audition for it.
Mm-hmm.
And James Woods was talking about how everyone was kind of coming in like, my name is Hades.
Oh, no,
I'm brother to Zeus. Like,
yeah.
like
Deep
big,
voice kind of thing.
Yeah. And he came in and was like super sassy with it. And it was like dejecting like everything. And they loved it. I mean, it's amazing.
That's exactly what that character needed to be, though. You can't have too scary of a voice for a children's movie. Mm-hmm. You need to have somebody who's more like, hey, what's up? Nah, da, 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 da.
I feel like they also like, granted, it was a terrible depiction of mythology.
Oh,
terrible.
However,
you know, Poseidon, Zeus, Hades, they're all brothers in the Greek mythology.
Yep.
And, you know, Zeus being the favorite who becomes the god of gods, I think it was a perfect depiction for Hades to be
the
like,
salty younger brother or the salty other brother.
Exactly. Yeah. He was the other brother.
Mm-hmm. No, they did a fantastic job with it. And I liked how they weren't afraid to get like nitty gritty with the battle scenes.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
The battle with the Hydra?
Yeah. And when Hercules gives up his power and he's beat to crap.
Their use of lighting and shading in that movie.
It's beautiful.
And like, I know that I've been a stickler. Like, I like animation styles, but I like my animation styles in a movie or a TV show to be concrete. I want it to all be the same. Mm-hmm. That Hydra scene is one of my favorite animation scenes.
Yeah, they did a really good job with switching over on that one. It really helped a kid understand that something significant had just happened. He lost his power. He had given it up.
Well, I'm talking about the Hydra fight where like the Hydra's like 3D shaded.
Oh. Now I remember what you mean. Yeah.
And, like you could tell it was like highly detailed.
Well, yeah, because I don't think that you could have communicated that many heads and the rate that they were growing back without having that 3D animation. Otherwise, it just looked so flat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But like, right, even with the shading, like they go from like Hercules being bright and colorful to now all of a sudden being this muted, like less saturation. Mm-hmm. Kind of like when you're losing health in a video game.
Yes.
But that was a little
jab.
Little side dig. Jocelyn and I are currently playing through a video game right now, and we're learning that, you know, when the screen goes grayscale, it means that we're almost about to die.
I'm sorry. I haven't played like through an actual video game that has battles and such.
Yes.
In years.
You're learning.
Yeah, I am.
But yeah.
I really enjoyed this list, this exercise in listening to instructions.
So right now on Instagram, we are doing a special giveaway to thank you for getting us to 500 followers on Instagram.
Golf clap to you.
So if you go to Instagram, you will see we have a big post that says giveaway. It's probably pinned to the top. And we are currently giving away a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1991 collector's case, a Mondo Gecko NECA figure, and an original Mondo Gecko from the 90s.
Yeah, so you get like the best of
you get the
all
old,
worlds,
the new, and something cool to display.
Yeah.
So kind of like what we are. We're old, we like new things, and we like to display them.
I don't like that we're old.
But we're young enough, so we're still new.
Okay.
We're going to be new to our 30s this year.
Yeah, new to 30s.
Yeah. So that we're doing a giveaway. So, go over on Instagram. Make sure you like, follow, share, subscribe, all the things. You know what to do.
Yeah. The instructions are in the comments and in the page or in the post.
Yeah. So go over to Instagram and make sure you enter in that giveaway.
It's really cool. Please get out of my house.
Yeah, Jocelyn. This is a way for Jocelyn to get things out of the basement. That I just said, no, I'm gonna display it at some point.
I'm gonna find a place for it.
I'm just waiting for the right spot to open up on one of the shelves.
Spoiler alert, it never opens up.
Yeah, no, we have over, I actually counted, I know I put it on one of the videos. We have over 30 gaming systems.
Woo!
In this basement.
And if we plug any more into that circuit, it's gonna trip.
Yeah, we found out that the other day. Whoopsies.
The limit is 10.
Yes. Actually, there are more than 10 plugged in there.
Oh, that's nice.
That's probably why.
Yeah, probably.
Yep.
Okay.
But yeah, so we like to close out every show with some 90s trivia. And we have 3 questions from our lovely 90s trivia box that we are going to ask each other.
Okay.
And
I don't think I picked out ones that are too difficult this time.
Okay. I have one that's perfectly themed for today's podcast.
Okay.
Do you mind if I ask that one first?
Go right ahead.
Which one of the following animated Disney films, I promise you I didn't search through the cards for this one. It happened one of the first, out of the 5 that we usually pick. It was just right there. I loved that. So which one of the following animated Disney films was not released in the 90s?
Oh, gosh.
Aladdin, Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Lion King. Only one of these, by the way,
Little Mermaid.
was not released in the 90s.
Little Mermaid.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Because I looked at every single other one of those on the list.
This was a nice easy one for you.
Yeah.
But I was surprised that Beauty and the Beast and Lion... Okay, I knew Beauty and the Beast was because I listened to 90s Noise.
Mm-hmm.
And they just did a review of Beauty and the Beast.
Mm-hmm.
It was really good. Go check out 90s Noise. They are phenomenal. But yeah, Lion King was also a 90s movie.
Yep.
And I was amazed that it didn't make either of our list.
No, and I think we are more drawn to... I don't know why. I
mean, I would say we're not drawn to the animals, but Goofy movie.
Yeah. So I had one comment that I wanted to make about the topic for today. I enjoyed almost every single one of the movies that was on that list of Disney movies that were released between 1990 and 2000 because we were at that perfect age where it was probably irresponsible to bring us to a movie theater, right?
Yeah.
We were way too young. So we got to see these movies as they came out to video, and then we obsessively rewatched them.
Well, especially those ones at the beginning of the list, like Aladdin.
Yes. So the first time we saw them, it was already on VHS. Mm-hmm. So we could watch it anytime we picked it up from the library or something. The later Disney movies that came out, we were anticipated it, we saw it coming, and then we had to go to the theater or watch it, and then we had to wait for it to come out. Mm-hmm. And so it wasn't as oh, here's just something that you grew up with. You know what I mean? These movies, we really were born at the right time to enjoy these movies for our childhood. Mm-hmm. Okay. That was my spiel. Okay. That's all. Okay. So I'm going to read each one of these clues, and hopefully you can guess it before we run out of clues. Okay?
Okay.
You have to guess the person.
Okay.
I invented the kickflip McTwist, the 720, and the 900. Okay.
I was just listening to a podcast and he was on it talking about that.
That's really funny.
The man broke his femur.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Ready for this?
Yep.
It's a numbers game. It's the Mambo number Lou Bega's song is a little bit of.
Mambo number 9.
No.
Mambo number 8?
No.
What is it?
Mambo number 5.
Oh.
We have talked about Mambo number 5 so many times on the podcast.
Sorry.
Lou Bega's Mambo number 5 became the WB Kids commercial.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought Mambo number 9.
Okay.
90s spelling bee. Just spell the name. We'll give you 2 tries. Shia LaBeouf.
SHIA.
Yeah.
LA.
Mm-hmm.
BE.
Mm-hmm.
OUF.
Yes, you got it.
Yay for all my years in French. It means Shia the beef.
AKA Louis Stevens from Even Stevens.
Oh my gosh. All of my years of taking French for 9 years of school paid off. Can I speak a fluent sentence in French? Not really.
No.
But I can spell La Bouffe.
Okay.
What links these clues together?
Okay.
Grunge, supersonic, Starbucks. Want me to say them again?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Grunge,
Yeah.
supersonics, Starbucks. Want me to add one more in there to see if it'll help out?
Yeah.
Frasier,
Oh, Seattle?
Seattle.
Oh, okay.
Frasier was not on the card, but I would see that would help.
Yeah, Seattle or Starbucks threw me off.
Starbucks got its start in Seattle.
I know, but I didn't know it was trying to be a place.
Grunge. So Seattle is the home to the Supersonics, grunge music, and Starbucks.
I didn't know about the Supersonics. So, all right. Ready? Last one. Put these shows in order they aired on ABC's 1993 TGIF programming lineup from earliest to latest.
Like earliest in the evening to latest in the evening?
Yeah.
Okay. 4 shows?
3.
3? Okay.
Now, you're familiar with all these shows. It's just a matter.
1993 TGIF lineup. I've looked at the
ABC,
TGIF lineup because I want to do a podcast on it.
Yep. So I figured this wasn't unfamiliar to you, but it was still a challenge, okay? The 3 shows.
Wait, can I guess the shows?
Yeah.
Is it Family Matters?
Yeah.
Step by Step?
Yeah.
And Full House?
No.
Dinosaurs?
No.
Okay, what's the last one?
Boy Meets World?
Is it Boy Meets World, Family Matters, then Step by Step?
No.
Is it Family Matters, then Step by Step?
No.
Really?
You want me to tell you?
Yeah.
Family Matters.
Yep.
Boy Meets World. Step by Step.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know that in the pilot, well, not the pilot episode, the second episode of Step by Step, Urkel makes a cameo appearance. So that's why I thought it went Family Matters, Step by Step.
No, there was Boy Meets World in the middle of that.
Okay, I knew Family Matters had to come before Step by Step. He would leave the show and then go to Step by Step for that episode.
Yeah.
Via jetpack. That's
Gotta
literally
love
what happens
Urkel.
in the second episode of Step by Step.
Gotta love it.
That was our TGIF lineup.
TGIF.
The year we were born.
Whoa, yeah. 30 years ago.
So hopefully you've enjoyed tonight's podcast of us going over 90s trivia and our top 5 animated Disney movies with Jocelyn's little asterisk for the Muppets.
I will always have an asterisk for the Muppets.
Make sure you find us on Instagram and TikTok. You like, follow, subscribe, share the page, share the podcast, leave a review. You know all the things that people ask you to do. But I've been Alex.
And I'm Jocelyn.
And this has been Nostalgia Junkies.
That's all, folks. Thank you for listening to the Nostalgia Junkies podcast. Follow us on social media, subscribe to the podcast, and make sure to never miss an episode. Till the next episode.